I think 2 years ago, I did a post, and boy, everybody in their daddy came after me, told me I'm a heretic, I follow the devil, blah, 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 blah. And I saw the guy who that preacher now, they got up on federal charges for tax evasion. He made the statement before also, and they came at him. But I understood what he was saying, and the vast majority didn't. Here is the statement. Why do people go to hell? Why? And 99% of people will say to me right now, people go to hell because of sin, Kevin. Come on, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Really? People go to hell because of sin? Well, if that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, every last one of us are bound for hellfire. Every last one of us. You want me to prove it? Could someone call to Dove right now? I want a perfect human. I want a perfect Christian call right now. A perfect one. Could a perfect Christian say, Mr. Ewing, how you doing? I've been listening to your show, and I want to tell you right now, I am a perfect homeboy. I've never cursed in my life. Liquor, I've never touched these lips. I only had one wife, okay? I never sweetheart on her, and I live a perfect life. Wow. So we have a second Jesus up in here. We have a second Jesus. Could someone get Jesus' hat and put it on this clown? Because that's what he is. That's exactly what he is. So do people go to hell for sin? Not necessarily. But there are sinners in hell. But that's not the real reason why they're there. The real reason is found in John chapter 3, verse 18. And listen what it says. He that believe on him is not condemned. And what is condemnation again? A person who has been judged, meaning you didn't accept Jesus, and now you are sentenced to eternal separation in hellfire because of not accepting Jesus. So he that believe on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already. Why? Because he lies too much? No. Because he's a fornicator? No. Because he gossips? No. Because he's an adulterer? No. Because he's a pedophile? No. Because he's a murderer? No. Why is he condemned? Because he had not believed. He have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son. Play with me. See, when you understand this, you appreciate your salvation. You're not walking on pins and needles. When you mess up, and I'm going to give you the scriptures for it, you get back up. Father, forgive me now, Lord. Help me to overcome this vice. Help me to overcome this alcoholism. Help me to overcome this lust. But I am still righteous even though I did wrong. But not some of these circuses that you go to. No, you did that. No, you can never be saved. No way. Kevin. You going to hell. Okay, so you saw my sin. It was quite visible. Let's deal with the ones that you do that we don't see. Because sin is sin. And if sin is the only prerequisite to hellfire, then every human being is going to go there. Everyone. Because every human being sins. Everyone. What is the difference? Righteousness in Christ Jesus. I accepted Jesus. Therefore, those penalties and punishments and condemnation, those things don't fall on me. Kevin, you better back this up. You better prove this. I can help you right now. I'm going to help you right now. I'm going to help you right now. So let's go here now to Romans. Romans chapter 8, and we're going to begin at verse 1. And remember now, we're coming off of the heels in chapter 7, where Paul was having this. Remember, this dude wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. All right. So if there's anybody who should have been perfect, it should have been him. But here it is. He's admitting. He says, listen, man, every time I try to do that was right, I end up doing what is wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then Paul said this beautiful thing in verse 21 of Romans 7. He says, I have discovered a law behind all of this, meaning that this isn't happening by chance. This isn't happening by accident. And the law which had him so tormented, meaning in his efforts to live righteous, but ended up doing the opposite in terms of his behavior. He said, I find a law, Romans 7 verse 21, that whenever I set out to do what is right, evil is always present with me. So Paul is saying, evil have a legitimate right to challenge any efforts of trying to live your righteousness out. Then he goes on to say, in fact, let me turn it down. Okay, Romans 7, verse 21. Listen what he says. He says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. Listen to verse 22. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man, that's his spirit, after the inward man. Listen to verse 23 now. But I see another law, not his opinion, not a conjecture, not his ideology. This is a rule, a principle, a law. So verse 23 of Romans 7, Paul is saying, but I see another law in my members, he's talking about his flesh, warring against the law of my who? Of my what? Of my mind. And bringing me, the believer, into captivity of the law of sin, which is in my members. So reading that, you'd be like, well, I don't stand a chance. I mean, living this Christian life is difficult. No, 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 no. Let's go to Romans 8, verse 1. Because Paul is about to give the revelation that I've been giving you all along.